new season brings new beginnings, newfound optimism, and most important, a whole lot of football on the horizon. It's the opening round of the Football Queensland Premier League, and we are very pleased to be bringing you the match of the round here from Clive Berghofer Stadium in Townsville between Southwest Queensland Thunder and Rochedale Rovers. Our hosts this afternoon are making their debut in this competition after being relegated from the NPL last season, and we're looking to have a short stay in the second division. The visitors won a dramatic grand final in 2019 and will be looking for a top 2 finish this season to try and secure promotion, and would love to start the campaign on a winning note. I'm James Coughlin, here to bring you all the action live on the Football Queensland Facebook and YouTube page, and I'm very pleased to be joined by my Brisbane Football Review colleague, making his commentary debut this afternoon, Scott Owen. Welcome to the commentary box, Scott, and glad to have you here.
Thank you, James. It's good to be here.
Yeah, it's a not very summery afternoon, what we've got here this afternoon. It's a little bit chilly, but hopefully that means we're going to have some fast-paced football action for you this afternoon.
Absolutely. It's pretty good weather conditions for football today, isn't it? As you mentioned, overcast, not too warm. It should be perfect for football. And
hopefully not too much rain blowing into what is a fantastic commentary spot, I've got to say.
It's fantastic up here, isn't it?
Definitely. We've got an interesting clash here as both sides look to put down an early season marker. Let's see how these two teams are lining up. Southwest Queensland Thunder, you've got goalkeeper Jace Hudson, number 3 Mirko Crociati, number 5 Wade Hall, number 16 Richard Hayden, number 4 Brady Mason, number 10 Jackson Frank, number 2 Callum Hart, number 13 Brenton Pennells, number 8 Veko Sarugo, number 15 Anthony Grant, number 22 Yosei Kalenga. For Rochedale, you've got goalkeeper Tom Carroll, number 2 Caleb Ackland, number 5 Joseph Field, number 4 Tim Jackson, number 3 Jason Tobin, number 14 Jake Kuskieri, number 12 Declan Ridings, number 20 Ryan Stenhouse, number 8 Riley Swindles, number 7 Gregory Cheshire, and number 16 Ray McGowan. So, Scott, what's your prediction for this game?
It's going to be a really interesting game. Just as you mentioned, it's a side Southwest Queensland Thunder relegated last year, looking for a quick bounce back, and Rochedale were really solid at the back end of last year, who got into the finals and, of course, picked up the win over the Sunshine Coast Wanderers in that grand final. I think this could be a really entertaining way to start the season, James.
Definitely. And you've got coach for Rochedale, Marcos Sturgiopoulos, who's just joined up with the club as well. You've got Ivor Prasad in charge of Southwest Queensland. As you see Prasad making some last-minute adjustments before kickoff, and it looks like it's going to be Rochelle get us underway. We'll be under control of this afternoon of our match official, Issy Del Crespo, assisted by Joel Essex and Jacob Cucks. And we're underway in the Football Queensland Premier League match of the round. We're very pleased to have you joining us here. And Rochelle goes long early. Bit of back and forth head tennis between the two sides at the moment. Very strong challenge there from Ray McGowan, who looks to be starting up top with number 7 Gregory Cheshire. Rochelle, early indications like they'll be starting out in one of those traditional 4-4-2 formations. Back to the olden days, Scott.
It looks a bit like that, doesn't it? Rochelle in possession here, but they've started off quite well. I mean, it looks like a back 3 to me, actually, James, with the fullbacks pushing very high and wide early on.
Well, it could very well be that way. Obviously, formations can be a little bit fluid, and, well, we'll just have to see which way they actually wind up going. But Rochelle just trying to get a few touches between their centre-backs early on. Got Stenhouse on the ball, looking to send it long now. Can't quite reach Cheshire, and that's dealt with there. And Italian import Mirko Crociati, number 3. We want to keep an eye on as well. Might talk about him a little bit more later on. Here's Kuskieri trying to spin it out wide there, but not to be in Southwest Queensland in their all-blue kit, trying to attack from right to left on the screen as you're watching us. Now here's a chance for McGowan. Early shot, blocked away there by Crociati.
Some good defending there from Crociati there, wasn't it? It's what we can expect from him this year as one of the high-profile additions for the league, and particularly for Southwest Queensland.
Definitely. Well, you know, I've always felt with these, you know, local clubs that if a player gets their own Facebook post for their signing, they're probably expecting a big impact for them. So, as we saw in the Southwest Queensland Thunder social accounts, there's an awful lot of S's and TH's there. You'll find he got his own post, so got to think that will happen. We're going to get an in-swinging corner here as Rochelle putting plenty of players around Jace Hudson. Swinging corner, and that's off the crossbar. Now looks like it's going to be cleared away here by Southwest Queensland. Push forward there to Anthony Grant. Chips back into the middle there, but can't quite reach Kalenga, and that's out for a Southwest Queensland Thunder throw-in. I think I might just stick with Thunder, actually, as the afternoon goes on.
It might be easier.
You'd think so. But If you might have heard me call a game before, why do things the easy way?
I can tell from experience you definitely don't do things the easy way.
Who invited you up here again?
I'm not sure, but I'm not sure if it was a great idea or not. We'll find out, won't we?
Of course it was a good idea. So Rochelle looking to spread the ball forward. They've got Stenhouse back as a short option here for Tom Carroll to get the ball to us. Instead goes short there to Brady Mason. I beg your pardon, that's Tim Jackson. There's Stenhouse. Ball goes past him here, and Tim Jackson on the ball. There's Ackland, who loves to get forward. I saw him in a couple of games last year, spending more time in the attacking box than the opposition goalkeeper.
Another one of these young Rochedale Rovers players coming through, so I think the club's been known for that in the years, James.
Yes, definitely. Quick run through the substitutes bench as well as see South West Queensland looking for an early corner here from Jackson Frank. In swinging corner again as players make their run. Got a bit of a swirling wind as well, so that might affect the delivery here.
It certainly seemed to affect the last corner that Rochedale Rovers had, which bent back in towards the crossbar, James. So that might be something to watch for the remainder of the game.
And I'm trying to stick my finger out the window and see which way it's blowing, but
I suggest looking at the trees.
Yeah, that's not really that much help at the moment, is it? So it's a free kick here after a foul by Ray McGowan. It's going to be Hart or Frank, the delivery. Frank leaves it now for Hart to try and deliver it with his right foot. Just clips it in around behind the penalty spot and cleared away there by a couple of Rochedale players competing for the ball. Here's Crociati. Sends it into the middle and cleared away. Good backtracking there from Wade Hall. A little bit of an Iron Man for South West Queensland last season. Played 28 games in NPL. Managed to nab himself 3 goals. So player as well. Someone that they're clearly going to be expecting a lot from this season.
Absolutely, James. And 3 goals for a defender's not a bad return at all.
Definitely. Well, that was one thing we did see a lot of from South West Queensland last season, was the fact that while they did finish in 14th place, scoring goals was definitely not a problem for them.
Yeah, it seemed like the problem was definitely at the other end of the field. I'm sure that's what they've been working on over the long pre-season, but if they can tighten that up, they've got a good chance of finishing in the finals positions or maybe higher this year, James.
Absolutely. And then Stenhouse nearly taken out there by that clearance from Tom Carroll. See Frank on the ball. Back in there, Sarugo. Lets that run through his legs and gets it back. Plays a through ball here and then just picked up there by Tom Carroll. Of course, the Thunder debuting new kits as well. Something a little bit different for them this year. The primarily blue with the white shoulders, and
it's quite a good contrast as well with the yellow and green of Rochedale, so it makes it nice and easy for us, that's for sure.
Yes, definitely. And no dramas reading the numbers either, which is very, very important for us. Beautiful little ball in there, and just had to be turned wide of the post there. That could have gone anywhere as Brady Mason was there with the clearance.
Very important intervention as well to man free at the back post, so that could have been the opening goal.
Definitely. You're already seeing Ackland causing a little bit of trouble getting a little bit higher up the pitch as he's now all the way back on halfway. Looks like it's going to be left foot of Joseph Field. Same spot where he managed to hit the bar with that early. Sends it all the way to the top, and free there is... Oh, goes all the way back out. Looks like we're going to get another ball in. He's onside apparently. However, at the back post, that's not to be. He's got a bit of a offside there.
So it's interesting the early start to this game, James. We mentioned Rochelle, they are starting the game in a back three with the fullbacks really bombing on as opposed to the 4-3-3 of the Thunder, so we've got some different systems here on show.
Yeah, good to see a little bit of tactical variety as well. Stenhouse wins the header. Called back into duty again as manages to beat Grant to the ball. Well, clearly looks like Rochedale think they're going to have a lot of success coming at the Thunder down there attacking right wing.
It's where all the ball's been so far for Rochelle, hasn't it, James? With Ackland down here on the right-hand side, they've been looking to exploit that side, so we're interesting to see if they get any success from that over the course of the game.
Definitely no slow start there for Mirko Crociati, who's got a pretty decent playing resume as well.
As former Inter Milan junior amongst other clubs, James, so he's certainly got a high pedigree.
Definitely. Actually got a couple of Italian imports as well for both of these clubs as well. So
there's a couple that aren't quite on show today.
Got
might see them in future weeks, hopefully. Some
yeah.
good international flavour to the competition.
Definitely. We've got Pasquale De Vita, the forward. Oh, we've got a chance here. And into the side netting there. Looks just a little bit, couldn't quite get around that, trying to go for the near post.
No, it was a decent effort. He got around his fullback there quite well, but the shot just hit the side netting.
Yeah, good breakthrough there by Joseph Field. And Rochelle now trying to get a bit of an attack down the left wing there. I think that might have been the first proper chance we've seen from open play.
I think so. Other than that, it's only really been the corner on the near side here which hit the crossbar. Apart from that, it's been a pretty even start between the two sides.
Definitely. Southwest Queensland looking for their first clear-cut chance, and that pass is cut out once again by a very compact Rochedale defence, and Tim Jackson involved there. He's Kalenga with the cross into the middle, and doesn't really amount to much as Carroll's there to collect. There's Cuschieri on the ball. You do think the one player that does make this work quite well for Rochelle is number 20, Ryan Stenhouse. He does love to drop back into that central defensive role. So kind of like what I remember seeing with Eric Pardalu in the Postacoglu days at the Brisbane Roar.
It is a bit like that, isn't he? He's got a whole bunch of experience, Ryan Stenhouse, been around the local leagues here in Queensland for a long period of time, and he's just doing a really good job in that role, allowing the other centre-backs to push wide and helping to also be a real calming influence in their playing out from the back, James.
Definitely. Here's Declan Ridings on the ball. Another one of those new signings. Clips it into the middle just over the head of Gregory Cheshire, but chance on there now, and a pivotal block there. Brenton Pennells could have... big block there. Here's Ackland down the right wing, and he's tripped up there. I think more by the ball than the tackle, and it goes out for a goal kick here for the Thunder.
Yeah, I think the ball just under his feet there, James, but not a bad position there for Rochedale. Again, that's the third or fourth time Ackland's found space over there on the right-hand side for a crossing position.
Definitely. I don't think you'll see the football getting a yellow card anytime soon, will you?
I hope we're not. It would be an interesting rule, wouldn't it?
I'm sure someone's asked for football to be yellow carded once or twice.
I wouldn't be surprised.
From there, and Stenhouse wins another header, but Ackland can't keep it in. Just underneath our commentary position there. Does feel strange seeing people in jumpers in southeast Queensland at this time of year, but actually it's a little bit necessary today.
It is, isn't it? The weather's been a bit all over the place in southeast Queensland over the summer, hasn't it, James? We've gone for some really cold days, and obviously we've had some really, really warm days today. On the range, obviously the sun hasn't decided to shine, but as we said earlier, I think it could really help the football in terms of not having that heat and humidity to affect the play.
Definitely some good pressing there by Riley Swindles in the middle, but now it's the Thunder on a break, as you've got options down here on the right-hand side. Here's Kalenga on the ball. Through there's... It's just cleared away there by Stenhouse for a corner.
Yep, showing his experience there once again, James.
Yeah, well, going to be a tough task to try and get past him, especially for Josue Kalenga.
That could be important for Rochelle this year as well. We might go through the ins and outs later on, but they have lost a lot of experienced players over the course of the off-season, so the experience of Stenhouse could be really important for their 2020 season. Definitely.
We've seen a few of those players making moves elsewhere, and we'll run through that maybe when we're not 11 and a half minutes into the game.
Yes.
In-swinging corner coming here for the Thunder. Challenge here, and almost off the head there of Veko Surugo. A long throw here for McGowan, but that's cut out very, very well, but can't quite keep it in. Is Richard Hayden. It's a very busy midfield as well for Rochelle early on. Obviously, you've got likes of Swindles there running around, Jake Cuschieri, who's just come back from a stint in NPL Victoria. Trying to work out who's who at the moment.
Yeah. It's a bit like that, isn't it? New season, new faces everywhere.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the joys of local football. Lots of player movement to keep your head around. And The Southwest Queensland side, they've gone for, good ball here, but it's a little bit too far ahead of Kalenga there. Quickly distributed by Carroll. Now headed back for Crociati as he's looking for an option. There's not a lot of time on the ball for the Thunder forwards when they do manage to get a hold of it.
No, it's quite compact in there at the moment, James. You look at it, most of the players are in about 15-20 metre period a lot of the game, so it's quite compact. It'll be interesting to see who can break that. And you mentioned obviously the Rochedale defenders are putting pressure on. So
then just cleared away. Tim Jackson once again, seeing both number 4s. Good little nutmeg there from Wade Hall. Here's Ackland. Hall's pass there just a little bit behind Grant. It's a strike pairing for the Thunder, just looking to get on the same page at the moment. Crociati on the ball. Not too much drama with it. Stenhouse honouring the run down the left flank there by what looks to be Jason Tobin. Might have been field, my apologies. And a nice little turn on the ball there, but ends up amounting to nothing as Kalenga's pass is cut out. Now it looks to be offside there. Anthony Grant just tried to get a little bit too much of a head start on the pass there. It was a good little bit of interplay there as Frank's ball, you can see, trying to get in that space behind Tim Jackson there.
That certainly seems to be a part of the Southwest Queensland plan, James. They've tried that a couple of times now, been caught out with it. So maybe it's something they can work on over the course of the game, because it looks like it might be able to bear fruit for them. They've got a bit of pace in that front third. So
definitely. Well, that three-man trio is certainly one that you'd be expecting quite a few goals to come from as the season progresses, but especially with such an interrupted pre-season as well. I was talking to a couple of people from Thunder beforehand. Here's Kalenga now. Good cut through there. Yeah, I was just saying, I was talking to a couple of people from Thunder, and I know it's been the same for pretty much every club in this part of the world, and actually all around there. Good tackle, one there, shots on and then blocked by Stenhouse.
Yeah, I think the weather's put paid to a lot of pre-season plans, James, over the course of the whole competition, but Rochedale did get in their Intercity Cup tournament as well, so they got those 3 games, which is good for them, but I think for most teams around the competition, it was a bit of an interrupted pre-season. So
you might see a few of these players need a little bit longer to try and get things rolling, I suppose, those combinations really to click. So we get a free kick there. Looks like it's going to be Stenhouse to take. We've got Field wide open on the far left touchline, but instead goes to Tobin Short, who then gets it out to Field. And his loose touch can't quite get him past Richard Hayden. No. Throw-in's just given away there. And here's Ackland trying to work his way around the very close attention there of Hall. Now Cheshire's pass just a little bit too far inside there for Ackland, and Crociati on the ball again. Get the feeling that's going to be a phrase we'll be saying quite a lot in FQPL commentary this season. Crociati on the ball. Jerry back to Stenhouse. Clearly asking Stenhouse to try and pick the long passes at the moment. Relying on his judgment there, and that wasn't one of his best, I'd think it's fair to say.
The classic commentator's curse, James.
I think I'm known for that. I think that's why some clubs might not want me back doing any of their games.
Happens to all of us.
Happens to the best of them. That's it. That's the important thing. This is, of course, the FQPL match of the round for round 1 of the 2020 season between Southwest Queensland Thunder and Rochedale Rovers from Clive Berghofer Stadium here in Toowoomba. And it's James Coughlin and Scott Owen here from the Brisbane Football Review, and we're very pleased that you're choosing to spend your Sunday afternoon with us, wherever you may be watching, whether it's on a phone, smart phone, tablet, possibly even a big screen TV.
We'd prefer that, wouldn't we?
Exactly.
But we'll settle for phones, I think.
We'll settle for anything, really. If you are listening to us on, or watching or listening to us on Facebook, feel free to leave a comment. We'll get to some of those in a little while. There's a chance for Cheshire if he can get ahead of Mason here and manages to get around him here. Good chance for Rochelle if he can cut it back. Puts it in the centre. Cheshire back on the ball, but then desperate cleared away there by Sarugo. Still in. And Rochelle getting another decent chance there as Cheshire was able to get a little bit of space in behind.
Yeah, another half chance there for the Rochedale Rovers, but again, it's some more desperate defending from South West Queensland. That's been a bit of a trend in the first 15, 20 minutes, so they're certainly putting their body on the line to improve their defensive performances on last year.
Absolutely, and you have to say, Rochelle, while they weren't the most prolific team in FQPL last season, they were very, very dangerous as the season went along, as they started to find their rhythm as well. So, and then that. Oh, a very, very strong check there from Jace Hudson. As Ackland followed that cross all the way in, and keeper holding his ground there. A little bit like a hit you might see in the NHL.
You might see that on the NHL, you're right. Rochedale were actually very good on the road last year from memory. They only dropped 2 games over the course of the season, so this could be a really good opportunity.
Cheshire on the ball again. Gets it on his right foot, shots on, and then parried away once again there by Hudson, and cleared away by Crociati.
Good little spell of pressure here from the visitors, James.
Definitely. They're starting to get on. And he's crossing from field. Cheshire near post and just wide. Was that tip just wide? It looks like it's been given as a corner.
Yes, it's a corner, James. Nice little maybe tip around the post from the goalkeeper or a deflection off the cross. But a good little cross from, I think it was Jake Field over there on the left-hand side. So they really are pressing at the moment, Rochedale.
So we saw them start to attack early on down the right-hand side, but now they're starting to bring in Joseph Field on the left as well.
Absolutely. Look, if you want to attack down both sides, you can't become predictable in this game.
Definitely, and if they do wind up cheating towards one side, then you definitely are going to find yourself with a lot more space on the opposite end of the pitch. Stenhouse's corner goes short to the aforementioned Field. Left-footed delivery, blocked there off the ribs. It looks like it's certainly knocked the wind out of Callum Hart there as he's down. Play on. Then a header away there by Crociati. Falls to... Blocked there by Crociati again. No penalty. Play on. Didn't look like those calls were maybe a little bit more hopeful than genuine, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't think there was too much of an appeal from the Rochedale Rovers players, so it seemed like a pretty clear decision there for the referee.
No, just going to check in there on Callum Hart as he's down with an injury 20 minutes into the game. And we should actually probably remind everybody that every FQPL, NPLW and NPL game will be streamed on the Football Queensland YouTube channel. We've got Match of the Round features on Facebook as well. So if you can't make it to the game, feel free to join Football Queensland online.
So it's a great initiative, isn't it, James? Obviously streamed most of the NPL games last year along with one from the FQPL and NPLW. It's great to see it going even further again this year. Definitely.
It's a good way to keep up to date with all the goings on around the Football Queensland competitions as well. And yeah, there's certainly a lot to keep track of this year. I think a couple of big scores last night as well in the NPLW.
Absolutely there were. A couple out there which were quite one-sided, but again, it's the early start of the season. Again, all players haven't really played too many games yet because of the weather, so it's a bit early to read too much into some of those results.
Definitely, and we'll just quickly run through. This is the 4th match of FQPL Round 1. You had Wynnum Wolves going down to Southside Eagles on Friday night in the season opener. 3-1 to Southside there. Logan 3-1 over Holland Park at Cornubia Park last night, and Ipswich Knights 4-2 over Souths at Wakeley Park. That's also one of the new initiatives you just saw there for 2020, which you may have already seen in place in some of the other leagues with the uncontested drop ball after an injury. And it looks like, thankfully, Callum Hart is okay to continue. Pass there just a little bit too far ahead of Grant and a little bit too far inside there for Kalinga.
A lot of time on the ball for the Rochedale defenders here, James.
Yeah, they're definitely not pressing too high at the moment, South West Queensland. They're happy to let them have the ball in their own third and then try and close things down as they move up the pitch. fact, I'm fairly certain. Gregory Cheshire, he is going to look to create something now. He's got a couple of options at the back post. Chance said just on Ray McGowan, and you'd have to... Could he have stretched a little bit more and gotten that one?
Possibly. I think Ackland could have got a bit further forward. So his team just stopped as it looked like it was going to get to McGowan. If he continued his run, he might have been able to get on the end of that. Again, a good ball in from Cheshire.
It is, of course, the dilemma that you'll face as you're making that back post run. Do you hold off a little bit to give yourself a bit more room to take the shot and maybe count for a deflection as well? That looked like it certainly came off the hand there. But apparently play on, as the hand was deemed to be in a natural position, or it didn't come off the hand. I wasn't as close as our match official for today, so I'll trust his judgment on that.
Absolutely. We'll absolutely go with his judgment, because I didn't see it either.
And as is always the case, the guy with the whistle in the middle is judge, jury and executioner.
Yeah, you can't really argue with them, can you?
No, one of these days I'm sure someone arguing with the referee will change their mind, but next time it happens, it'll be the first time.
I look forward to seeing it if it ever does happen.
That's why every team needs a lawyer in the midfield. It's a little bit too high there for Cheshire, as cleared by Mason. Now here's Hart sending it wide as Hayden sends it all the way back to Brady Mason. Through the middle here's Grant. Looks like he and Jackson Frank weren't quite on the same page with that one there, and Ackland's all the way back to do his defensive duties. Really good defensive work there from Crociati, is able to get the better of McGowan for that ball there. As looks like Frank was offside there and didn't bother chasing that ball, so it turns into a bit of a touch-finding clearance.
Yep.
Rochelle just working out who's taking the throw in. While we're doing that, we should probably also say, make sure you check out Football Queensland on all the social channels. Facebook Football Queensland, I think Twitter and Instagram at FootballQLD, and they're on TikTok now, which, I admit as someone who's just turned 30, I'm not quite sure what TikTok is, but
I'm glad you're not asking me what TikTok is, because I haven't got a clue.
I'm sure someone in the Facebook comments can help us out with that one, but keep up to date with all the news and going-ons between socials and the Football Queensland website. And here's a good run here from Field. And back to Crischieri. Here's Ackland. So you might hear the Rochelle coach, Marcus Sturgiopoulos, or Sturges, I think he's prefers to be called. He's pushing for some forward movement. He's got a wall of blue shirts to try and break down, though.
You're right, Thunder are very compact defensively, aren't they? When they're defending in their own half, there's very little space between the lines. Definitely,
and that's deflected there off Brenton Pennells for a Rochedale corner. It might just be we're looking for a set piece to break this game open, because it seems like both sides haven't quite clicked just yet, just even in terms of this match. It seems like they're still trying to feel each other out, work out who's who and whatnot.
It's very much an early season game, isn't it, where both sides are trying to get their combinations down pat and also figure out what's the best way to break down the opposition, because you wouldn't have much tape on them.
Definitely, with a side like Southwest Queensland that does have quite a few new players as well. Obviously you wouldn't know too much about them. They've recruited heavily in the local area with 5 players from the Toowoomba Premier League as well, so it's good to see some of these local players getting a go. Wade Hall is one of the returning options, gets through here as Kalenga on the ball now. Plays it back for Hall, who loses out the challenge there to Field. Here's Cheshire. And a high ball, and then long way out is Hudson, but don't think he's got to worry too much about that, as his midfield was there to help him out. Richard Hayden ensuring there was going to be no spectacular long-range shot a la Orlando Engelar.
One of many examples there, James.
I don't know why that was the first one that popped into my head, to be honest, but we'll see how that...
I can think of a couple more, but I don't really want to talk about overseas leagues.
Exactly. I'm at least trying to keep it domestic as Crociati's on the ball. Whoa. And then Hudson able to keep away there from the onrushing McGowan. Quite a lot of football on at the moment this afternoon. Jackson Frank, the captain, loses control of the ball there. This is, of course, a double header here at Clive Burkhofer Stadium as well. So Crociati's upended there, and McGowan was offside, but you have to feel like that might have been a little bit of an infringement. Instead, it's deemed to be play on.
Yeah, double header here, James. This will be the first full round of the season for the MPL, MPLW and FQPL, with the weather, of course, affecting the first couple of weeks. So this will be the first full round of the competition.
There's got a few Facebook questions coming through as well. We've got John wondering what's to go with the white and blue lines. Well, my best guess, since they're not trying to paint it blue to avoid snow up here, it's not that cold, probably club colours.
Possibly. Maybe later in the year they might need blue lines or something else, some other colour with the fog that can roll in up here on the range, but I don't think that's the case today.
Definitely. We've got Michael watching us from Granville Football Club in Maryborough, so pleased to have you joining us. Chip through here, and that's dealt with there as Rochelle looked to clear their lines. There's also got Jason watching from the office as well, so welcome aboard, Jason, and hope the boss is all right with the comments online. Unless, of course, you're your own boss, in which case I assume the boss is okay with those. A bit of physical work there from Frank. Gets the ball there for Sarugo, and I'm guessing that's a kick for territory.
It could very well be. Different sport, that's what they call it, James.
Yes, exactly. Multitasking last night. A lot of sport to watch around here, so... So, yeah. That actually is a good point, though. I'm assuming the white and blue lines are because it is Southwest Queensland Thunder club colours. And here's Cheshire on the ball again, but the Italian Crociati there is able to see off the threat.
Normally you see teams change the net colours, don't you, James, to their own team colour? Not normally the lines on the field.
Yeah, I have seen... Adelaide United, I know, have the red net. I've seen the Socceroos have gold nets as well. Here's Cuschieri on the ball. Trying to get it out there, but just can't quite get it past the outstretched foot of Hayden. So not quite the clean break of possession as Cuschieri goes out there again. And, well, once again, Hayden's there to cut it off. Good, clever little touch there from Frank. And here's Sarugo, one of those local signings from the Toowoomba Premier League. Signed from Rockville Rovers, and from what I've heard, he was a popular figure at that club last year. I believe Player of the Year.
He might have been. I'll trust your judgment on that. It is good, though, that the Thunder have given a lot of players from this region an opportunity.
Exactly. Well, not that relegation is a good thing by any stretch of the imagination. No club really enjoys getting relegated, but maybe it does at least give them a bit more encouragement to try and give these local players a bit more of a go. Yeah,
see what you can find out there in the local league. I mean, there's plenty of good players out there. It's just a matter of going and finding them, and certainly the Southwest Queensland have gone down that path over the off-season. It seems to have borne fruit from so far.
Definitely. Exactly. Well, you do see, like, obviously, the Brisbane region is quite rich for clubs in the FQ competitions, but up here, Southwest Queensland, obviously down on the Gold Coast, you've got Knights and Gold Coast United, and only two clubs up on the Sunshine Coast. It probably is going to be a little bit easier to try and recruit from up there as well.
It is also very vitally important for these regional teams to go down that path as well. I think Sunshine Coast have done something similar as well, James.
Definitely. A great little turn here's Pennell's on the ball, but this pass doesn't really amount to a whole lot, and Carroll's there to get the ball. Send it out to the opposite side of the pitch. His field under a little bit more high pressure now as we approach the final quarter hour of the first half. Now here's McGowan with a little bit of space if he can get there, as you find Hayden tracking back very, very well, and a strong challenge there.
Superb tackle that, James. Cut out a really good opportunity. Rochelle had 3 men in the box there, so that could have been a great opportunity if he managed to get around him.
Definitely, and it's left its mark on McGowan as he's just limping a little bit behind play as Rochelle look to try and launch another counter-attack there. Here's Ackland on the ball. But this battle on the left wing, the Thunder left wing, is one to definitely keep an eye on as well. You've got Wade Hall against Caleb Ackland. That's who've been going at it pretty much all game, and it seems like it's going to go a long way to deciding this match if one of these players can get a bit of an upper hand in what has been, I'd say, a fairly even bout so far.
It's only been a very even bout so far. You'd probably say a split decision on this near side, James, between Hall and Ackland out there as well, because both of them had their good moments in the game.
Yes, definitely. Cheshire just can't quite get past Crociati there. Well, it's been a pretty clear plan of attack for Rochelle so far. They're trying to attack down the flanks. They're trying to use, one of the fullbacks, obviously Ackland or Field, as they're breaking down either flank, and then get either Cheshire or McGowan in behind. There's McGowan on the ball now. Couldn't quite get the turn in there, and no mercy challenges there from Frank and Swindles. He's Kalenga on the ball now. Hasn't really got a whole lot in front of him, so he's got to just hold up there. Sarugo all the way back over. Now here's Hall, is looking for delivery. He's got three options at the back post. It's holding up in the wind. Claimed very calmly there by Tom Carroll. So headed away there by Hall. It's one thing you'd also be looking for as well with Southwest Queensland. Only 6 players made 20-plus appearances for them last season, so they'd be hoping that they can probably keep a much more stable starting 11 together as the season goes on.
Definitely, a stable starting 11 is always what every coach is after, and with the amount of players that Thunder have lost in the off-season, it could be very important for them to get that stability early on.
That cut back there from Field was cleared. Now Ackland got a bit of a first touch there. He's trying to create a bit of a half chance now. Here's Cheshire if the ball is going to beat him to the byline, unfortunately. Got about 10 minutes remaining in this opening round, match of the round for Football Queensland Premier League. Got Southwest Queensland Thunder hosting Rochedale Rovers. The first of what's going to be a 22-week competition, if my maths is correct.
It's a good question. It should be, because there's more teams in the competition this year, obviously, with the three relegated sides and 2 teams went up, so there should be a 22-week competition, yeah.
If my maths is correct, please don't hold me to that.
I'm just using it because if it's wrong, it's on you. So.
Scott has plenty of history throwing me under the bus, so...
It's what I do best.
So that's why they wanted you to do this game with me. And a very close attention here from Frank is Tim Jackson, as he's able to turn and get the ball away, but only as far as Hall. Now quite a bit of space here, and a lovely little back heel there from Josue Kalenga. Now McGowan's going to get there, but it looks like it's going to be Jace Hudson first to the ball, who's able to pick it up as it rolls into his 18-yard box.
I just wonder if some of these balls through from the defence to the front, though, is this skipping on a bit, James, with a bit of the rain that we've had over the last couple of hours?
Yeah, definitely. There's still a little bit of I feel a bit of drizzle as the game got underway, but nothing too heavy. But obviously, because it is a little bit cool and not all that bright, I think we're going to see a fast pitch. I won't go out and put my key in at halftime, though. Don't worry about that.
I think that's been trademarked.
We've got plenty of space here for Ackland on the right-hand side. This ball finds its foot. His touch just forces him to hold up a little bit there, and cleared away by Callum Hart. But So if that touch from Ackland there could have been just a little bit further in front of him, you have to think that a good chance might have been on as well. Because he had a few options in front of him to try and put in a cross. Here's Ackland on the ball again. It's a touch there from British import Declan Ridings, just a little bit too heavy there. Obviously they'll be hoping that Ridings can bring a little bit of control to that midfield as well. It's a transfer from the UK, Trafford FC. Played 8 games for them in the 2019-20 season. Last appearance was September 22nd last year. A 2-2 draw with the City of Liverpool in the Northern Northwest Division. Can you tell I did my research for this?
I can. There might be a bit of rivalry between those two clubs too there, Trafford and City of Liverpool.
He's Ackland trying to get on the ball there, but it's going to be Crociati first to it, as he has been pretty much all afternoon. It's one thing that's been very impressive for him so far as well, is just that positioning.
He has been really good positionally, you're right, James. It's that final touch when he gets the ball, if he can do something with it. But he's been really good in terms of his getting forward. It's been really impressive. I think it's important for them in this system that fullbacks really do get forward.
Definitely. I suppose you'd call Stenhouse a centre-back, but I think he's more than willing to get forward if need be. In the meantime, though, here's Tobin on the ball and feeds Field. And a very, very strong tackle again by Callum Hart. And we're not taking any prisoners in this first game of the season, are the Thunder?
No, they're certainly not. They're very strong in the tackle and so really desperate with their defending, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's something they've really emphasised over the off-season, James.
Well, definitely that's an attitude we've seen replicated in a few other clubs that were looking to shore up their defence over the last 12 months.
Absolutely, there's a couple. One professional club in Brisbane who've done that quite effectively.
Brisbane, Redcliffe, same thing.
Don't start that argument.
Then a loose pass there, almost taken advantage of there by Frank, but Thunder now on the ball. Now you've got options on the left. You can hear them calling for Wade Hall, but it goes to Frank, who just can't quite get it under control there. The movement just in front of the Thunder player on the ball there, just not there. And a very, very strong tackle there, Brenton Pennells. Oh, I think I know what the highlight reel for this game is going to be dominated by at this rate.
Can be not the first time for Brenton Pennells today. He said made 2 or 3 really good chances at the back, having a really good first half.
Definitely, and then he's there for the header once again. I think it's just that attack for Thunder at the moment, though, is still a little bit static. So I wonder if they're going to try and focus a little bit more on opening up in the second half and having a few more forward runners, because you're seeing right now, when they're trying to break, they're having to hold up the ball just for that extra second, which is cutting off those passing lanes.
Yeah, maybe we need to get one of the midfielders to press further forward as they win the ball, because you're right, they are short of numbers in the front third when they do get the ball.
There goes Sarugo's pass, just couldn't be brought under control there by Kalenga, but he's able to take advantage of a loose touch there from Field. Another loose pass, and now you've got Cheshire in plenty of space. He's going to get the shot off of his right foot, then deflected away for a corner there. Well, more defending there by Brady Mason. Was able to cut off as he tried to turn in for his right foot there to curl it into the far post.
Fantastic that chance there for Greg Chessie, James. Probably the best chance that the Rovers have had in the first half. Great space there, just inside the edge of the box. You'd really think, just test the keeper there.
Definitely. But defender came to the keeper's rescue there. Short corner routine here. Stenhouse sends it over there for Swindles, and not a whole lot coming of that.
A short corner routine that all the short corner dislikers will be entirely enthused by, I'm sure, James.
I'm one of them. Now, a bit of a disagreement there between Stenhouse and a couple of the Thunder players. Stenhouse just getting a bit of a talking to here from our match official, Issy Del Crespo.
Hasn't had a lot to do so far, has he?
No, I think this is probably one of his happiest games. Not a whole lot of correcting, not a whole lot of fouls. It actually is one thing I am enjoying so far. It's been a very free-flowing game as well. The stoppages have come from the ball going out of play rather than the whistle. More than willing to let the game flow, as they say.
Certainly what you like to see, isn't it, James? The referee lets the game flow, let the players decide what happens.
Exactly.
Hasn't had a lot to do in general either, really. There's not been a lot of fouls for him to worry about either.
Yeah, there hasn't been a lot of line calls. A couple of handball shouts that say overall he got right so far. There's Hall with the cutout, but only temporarily. Here's Ackland on the ball looking for back post, and I think he'll be saying the wind got a hold of that one.
I would use that as well. It was a good opportunity though, because there was a man free at the back post if you could find him. I definitely think the wind did get a hold of it, you're right.
He was looking for Cheshire there. The goal kick there from Hudson goes out for a Rochedale throw-in. Here's Cuschieri once again. In the past we've seen him try almost a dozen times in this first half. Here's Cheshire if he can get to the ball first, but he can't. Holds up his run and easy collect there for Jace Hudson.
That switch can be really effective, James, because I think the Thunder are defending a bit narrowly on the opposite side of where the ball is. So if you can get it to switch happening, there's an opportunity out there for the wide fullbacks who are really bombing on. Definitely,
and there's got a lot of pace on their bench as well. You've got Reece Bregan who could take advantage of that, but right now Cheshire's looking to off his right foot, but then Crociati's there to cut it out, and then volley just goes wide of the near post by Joseph Field.
Yeah, Crociati showing his experience there, James, and being in the right place at the right time.
Knew where that cross was coming in as we enter the final 90 seconds of the first half here. Very pleased that you're joining us on Football Queensland live broadcast platforms, Facebook, YouTube. I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Let's go with it anyway. You see Tobin on the ball there, looking to send it back to the right area of the pitch, at least from his perspective. See some of the ball kids just going into retrieval mode as we haven't got a spare one on this side. See one behind the Rochedale goal, and McGowan muscled off the ball there, getting plenty of attention from the Thunder defence. Now here's Kalenga on the ball. Hall over on the opposite side to where we're used to seeing him. And then Grant can't quite get that one under control. Definitely paying a lot more close attention to Ackland in latter stages of this first half as well.
They're really trying to cut down the space, and every time he gets the ball, you're right, the fullback on this side is really putting the pressure on him, and it's having a good effect because they're winning the ball back a lot higher up Thunder than in their defences. They're maybe just inside their half, they're winning it back now. So it's certainly a nice change for them to have made.
Definitely. All right, here's Cuschieri's attempted pass there is blocked, and get another go at it, and just sends it over to Swindles, who's just trying to get the ball under control now. Here's Cheshire. Cheshire there, and Crociati once again first to the ball, and
you can certainly see based on this first half, James, he's going to be one of the top players in the FQPL this season.
Definitely, it could be a shrewd bit of recruiting here in Toowoomba, and cleared away there for a Thunder goal kick. As you can see, some of the team officials making their way up the tunnel already for the halftime break.
Not a bad idea, James, to get out of the wind.
It's not that bad, I suppose. We really do sound like soft Queenslanders, don't we?
We really do, don't we?
Yeah, it's about 20 degrees, but we're still cold. And that marks half-time here in this FQPL Round 1 fixture between the Thunder and Rochelle. Scott, quick recap of the first half?
I think it's been a really good midfield battle between both sides. They've kind of cancelled each other out. Both sides trying to get their feet underneath them for the start of the season. Hopefully we can see some goal mouth action in the second half, James.
Definitely. All right, we'll be back to bring you the second half here from Clive Burkhofer Stadium in Toowoomba. Just in a little bit. We'll be back after these.
keeper's out. The net's open!
Some people can't hide their passion. Don't hide yours. Join our team.
When you're smiling, when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you.
Happiness is knowing you'll find the perfect vehicle every time. Thrifty, smiles all the way.
We swear a lot at Total Tools. We swear by our range. We swear by our service. And of course, we swear by our prices. So you'll know that you're buying at the best price every day. Total Tools. Every tool, every trade.
All right, welcome back here to Clive Burkhofer Stadium here in Toowoomba. It's James Coughlin and Scott Owen here in this scoreless FQPL Round 1 game on the Football Queensland Facebook and YouTube page. Now we've got, scoreless game so far. Scott, what have you made of it?
It's been a really even game, hasn't it, James, between two sides? I think we expected it at the start of the game, James, between again the side who were really strong last year in this competition with Rochedale and also South West Queensland were competitive but not able to get the results in the NPL. So I think we expected a pretty even game.
Exactly. We haven't seen all that many shots on target so far. Both keepers have had to do more work claiming crosses and picking up through passes, haven't they?
Absolutely. It's been much more about those claiming the cross. That's been quite difficult in these weather conditions with the wind swirling around. I think there's been a couple that were quite difficult. Remember the first corner of the game, James hit the crossbar, so it's certainly been a difficult task for the goalkeepers with that today. Not so much so far, at least, with having to make good saves. Hopefully we'll see a bit more of that in the second half, though.
Definitely. You'd have to say the busier of the two keepers has been South West Queensland's Jace Hudson. He's had that one off the bar as well, and a few half chances for the likes of Gregory Cheshire and Ray McGowan.
Yeah, they've had a couple of half chances already, so nothing that really has been a clear-cut chance yet. I don't think South West Queensland have had a shot on target yet, so hopefully that we can see the home side get a couple of shots on target in the second half.
Now just doing a quick count of the numbers, and it appears both teams are as they departed at half-time, so no half-time substitutions, but we could see a substitute making an impact in the next 45 minutes as we're back underway. Rochedale kicking right to left in this second half, as that therefore means South West Queensland are going left to right. Now chance here early on, shot just wide there. Veko Sarugo almost opened the scoring in the early seconds of the second half.
Yeah, just mentioned that South West Queensland haven't had too many shots on target. That was a great opportunity there, just past the post. Good start to the second half, and I'm very positive.
That was definitely their best chance of the game so far, as that ball is now in the seats behind the goal as the two ball kids try and work out where it wound up. We get one from halfway as we can get play back underway. It's a short goal kick there, which of course we are playing under the new IFAB law, so the goal kicks don't have to exit the 18-yard box before they're touched by a member of the team.
They've changed the law officially, James. I think unofficially that was always the case for at least a fair while. Plenty of teams have bent around that rule over the years.
Yeah, it's like the throw-in rule. It's more of a suggestion than a guideline rather than a hard and fast rule.
Absolutely.
Not that we really want to be encouraging too much pedantic officiating, so I think we're happy to let that one slide.
Yeah, we might skip talking about the rules and regulations of the game, particularly a three-letter word, which I think is a swear word, isn't it?
I think it's seen as that in quite a lot of places, except Merseyside. Anyway, we'll keep going. Pleased to have you joining us on the Football Queensland Facebook and YouTube pages. It's James Coughlin and Scott Owen here bringing you the action as Gregory Cheshire's trying to chase down this long ball. If you are tuning in on Facebook, feel free to leave us a comment. We might try and get to some of those questions as the match wears on.
I think that one might have held up in the breeze, James, so that might be something that Rochedale can look to exploit in the second half.
Definitely. Gives them a little bit more margin for error in terms of power of those crosses there, as Kalinga can't quite get to the ball. I think the breeze is at the backs of the Thunder, at least in the second half, I think.
For now, anyway. It's only been swirling around all game, so it'll probably change around again very soon.
Now here's Field, who was pretty heavily involved late in that first half, as Rochelle tried to exploit that attacking left-hand side. It's going to be a goal kick here. Okay, so just got confirmation you might have heard there on the effects mic, because we did actually have a halftime change there for the Thunder. Number 4, Brady Mason, is off, and number 18, Jordan Howard, is on.
Yep. So it slipped our radar, didn't it?
Yes.
As a substitution, but I think it's sort of like-for-like change at the back there, James.
Looks like it, yeah. Now here's the Italian import, Mirko Crociati, who was ever present in that first half as well.
It was a very impressive start to his FQPL career, James.
Definitely, and one that you'd have to hope they are able to keep fit as the season continues.
They've got a second Italian import as well who's not quite able to take part today as well. So
Yes, you've got
a couple of Italian imports out here on the range this year.
definitely forward Pasquale De Vita, 25-year-old from Italy, most recently AC Libertas, and should bring plenty of goals to the side. Played for the youth teams of Atalanta, Palermo and Verona before jumping around Italy's lower divisions. 118 games all up, but picked up a slight strain during the week in training and opted to not risk him this early in the season.
Looked quite keen to get involved though, didn't he? He was out there as part of the warm-up for the Thunder. So he might not be too far away, so that's good news for the Thunder fans out there.
Definitely. Well, if it's being described as a better safe than sorry approach, now an overlapping run here. Rochelle defenders swarm onto the ball. Here's Field. Now you've got Richard Hayden to take the throw in. This header in from Sarugo, and Anthony Grant can't quite bring that one under control. Here's Sarugo on the ball again, puts the cross in. Just too far in front of Grant.
It's a great opportunity, that, James. Again, if one of the players in the middle of that Grant, or if that could have showed the ambition to gamble at the back post there, they could have found themselves having a tap in. Definitely. So it's a great opportunity to start the second half. Second one so far in the first 5 minutes of the half for the Thunder.
Definitely a lot more enterprise in early stages of this first half from the Thunder. Strong challenge there from Callum Hart, one of many we've seen from the home side this afternoon. Now Frank trying to get a little bit creative with the chest, but can't make too much of that. Looks like we're getting a little bit of drizzle coming in as well. And at the very least, it's spinning.
So no need for the halftime sprinklers out on the field here. It's Clive Burkhoff Stadium, is there, James?
No,
not that kind of day.
No, I don't think I've had to worry too much about keeping the pitch playable. Off the hands there of Hart.
It's actually in great condition here, the field, isn't it, James?
Yeah,
fantastic facility out here in Toowoomba.
Yeah, it looks phenomenal. It's definitely setting a high bar for venues, not just in FQPL. And a stumble there, and what looked to be a possibly deliberate handball there from Tobin.
Benefit of doubt, perhaps, James, there.
Yeah. The through ball there, chance. Sarugo squares it, and we've got the opening goal of the game. Anthony Grant with the tap in at the back post, made by the hard work there from Veko Sarugo, and the Thunder have the lead 52 minutes into the game.
They certainly deserve it, James, based on the start of the second half. Quick free kick there, Sarugo picking out Grant at that far post there, and it's a great moment here for the home fans here in Toowoomba. They've got the lead now. Can they go on with it?
Definitely, and Rovers might have been counting their blessings that they avoided a yellow card there, but maybe they're cursing their luck after that quickly taken free kick there. And it was, as you mentioned just before, actually, a bit of ambition gambling at the back post, and Anthony Grant is there to score the first goal of the season for the Thunder.
So it's a great goal there. It's a great start to the second half for the Thunder, as we talked about, James. That's the third chance they've had on goal in the first 7 minutes of the half, and they've finally got their reward. Sets up the game beautifully now.
Yes, definitely. We're going to be getting back underway. It's just keeping an eye on the Rochedale bench. We might see a couple of changes as the half goes on. One of those players that I think we'll be expecting quite a lot from is number 17, Reece Bregan, who was quite impactful in it when he did take to the pitch last season. We've won an award for the under-20 team, possibly Players Player.
Again, they brought a lot of young players through at Rochedale Rovers in the last season. Looked at Caleb Ackland in the first half, beg your pardon. Reece Bregan's another one. They've got really had a long lineage of that. You think back to the likes of Luke Pratt and James Donachie. It seems to be a real emphasis at Rochedale Rovers. It's great to see them give young players an opportunity, and Reece Bregan might not be too far away from entering the games, James.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like could be looking for a few changes. Here's seeing also the impact there of Veko Sarugo, one of the players recruited from the Toowoomba Premier League as well, with the setup for the first goal. It was an enterprising run and able to square it to the back post.
Fantastic impact from you, right, James? He looked really lively in the first half, making those runs. The ball just was not holding up for him to get on the end of it. This time it did with a quick free kick, as you mentioned, and look, It's a great bit of play from the player from the Toowoomba Premier League.
Definitely a well-placed pass as well. Hall's clearance doesn't quite get to where it was supposed to go, but a loose touch there from Ackland, and he's brought down there, and looks like we're going to get advantage played here for Rochedale. Centers it there, back post, tapped away. Here's Cheshire on the ball. Good keeping there from Jace Hudson to recover from that. That was a pretty weak punch.
Yeah, you certainly covered up for his mistake there, James. Some very good goalkeeping. A good half chance that for Rochedale there to get back on level terms.
Definitely, and I think Cheshire's definitely a right-footed player from what we've seen so far. That pass was a little bit too far in front of Ackland, and now Thunder have a chance to kickstart another attack. One of these days, I'm sure I'll get a dry game this season. I had Magpies Crusaders and Penn Power in round 1 of the NPL, and I was rating a little bit heavier in that one.
You're a bit of a curse with the weather, aren't you, James?
Yeah, exactly. Now, good ball there is looks like Kalenga and Grant were both deemed to be offside there, and we're coming back for a Rochedale free kick here. Ball out here for Tobin. Now, under-hit pass there from Field. Now could spark a counter-attack here as Hayden was really trying to break down that right flank there, but pass couldn't quite get past Jason Tobin.
Homeside definitely look more lively early in the second half. Second half, don't they, James?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're going to be certainly trying to get a little bit more forward, and here's Hayden. Now here's Sarugo there. Well, it's only been 10 minutes, but you'd have to say he's been the star of the first half.
He has actually been fantastic early in the second half, James. Made a real impact over here on the right-hand side for the Thunder, and got another corner here for them to hopefully, for their sake, double their lead. They've been really good so far this first 10 minutes of the second half.
Definitely looks like Sarugo's just operating with a little bit more freedom in behind the attacking duo.
Yeah, it certainly looks that might be a little tweak they've made at half-time. It certainly worked, hasn't it? It's been fantastic early here in the second half.
Here comes the ball, top of the box, and cleared away there. And, Wade Hall went down, possibly with the assistance of a breeze there. That's deemed to be play on, as that free kick was taken possibly in the hopes of picking up a yellow card for one of the Rochedale players, who was definitely not back the 10 yards. This rain's just getting that little bit heavier. Just making sure we're not near any exposed power points up here in the commentary booth at Clive Berghofer Stadium. Just got the all clear. If you hear a buzzing sound, you'll know what's going on, but I think we're nice and safe up here.
We are pretty safe. It's a great commentary position here, isn't it, James? It's fantastic. We should be more than safe here. But again, the weather, this rain's not going to hurt the game either out there.
No, definitely. I think it's going to keep the ball moving along the pitch. Here's Ridings, who still looks like... Oh, puts in a very good challenge there, but can't quite get the ball back. Now here's Ackland and Hall once again, and Ackland gets to it first, and now he's going to free up McGowan down the right wing. Cheshire at the back post. Just over hit the cross there, or maybe it was a shot. It looks like it went over the crossbar there.
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say it was a mishit cross, James.
Shot direction, cross power. I don't think we could get used to operating from this spot up here.
It's very nice, isn't it?
Yeah. To appreciate the hospitality of Southwest Queensland Thunder as the loyal fans beneath us watching their side play. We can see some of the NPL players as well starting to warm up beneath us. The NPLW game there is all that chance there at the back post, cleared away there by Ridings. Back post and a fantastic save for what would have been an offside Declan Ridings anyway, but frantic scramble in the box there.
Once again, James, defensively from the Southwest Queensland Thunder, when they're defending inside their box, they're very, very desperate in what they're doing, and that was again another clear exhibition of that. It's been fantastic to see, actually.
As trying to get the crowd going beneath us. But yeah, that was desperate defending as well, and one that certainly a good sign for Southwest Queensland after giving up was 104 goals in NPL Queensland last year.
So they look very much more resolute this year, don't they?
Definitely. Well, you know what they say, you never lose a game where you don't concede a goal.
Is that another coach's cliche book, that one?
Something like that. I think that's right next to the boys put in a good effort this afternoon. Or as the case may be, just after this, the girls put in a good effort this afternoon. As a good touch there from Declan Ridings, who's just starting to get into the game in the last 5 or so minutes. It's going to be a Rochelle free kick with Ryan Stenhouse coming in to take that. Just a couple of metres inside the left-hand touchline, as it looks like the aforementioned Reece Bregan will be making his way into the game before too long. Ball into the near post and claimed there by Jace Hudson. Stenhouse there, back to get the ball back, heads it back to his keeper. We should mention as well, as we did in the first half, all FQPL, NPLW and NPL matches are being streamed on the Football Queensland YouTube channels, so make sure you tune in for that. If you're a fan of Southwest Queensland, you can check out their NPLW season openers straight after this game. Certainly be looking forward to seeing how the sides go there, as that through ball just not quite able to find Kalinga. And Sarugo there, high pressing again, is trying to follow up his work there, and then a loose pass from Tobin gives Southwest Queensland another corner.
A good reward for the pressure there, James. He's got himself a corner there again, so it's great. Again, he's had a great start to the second half, Sarugo.
Definitely. Will be one of the targets here from this corner, which is going to be delivered by Frank. Out swinging corner with his right foot. So I think they're issuing the short corner routine.
So, which I'm sure pleases you.
Just a little bit. They're cleared away there. Briefly, and then the header from Ridings there. Now, 2-on-1 here for Rochelle. They can get control of the ball, which they can't. Now here's Ackland down the right flank. The range just getting that a little bit heavier. Doing wonders from your for your notes there, Scott.
It certainly is, isn't it? I think they've completely gone now.
Cuschieri shot from distance, just wide. So about an hour gone here, this FQPL round 1 match of the round. Here it's James Coughlin and Scott Owen at Clyde Berghofer Stadium in a cold and damp Toowoomba.
This winter certainly arrived early out in the range, hasn't it, James?
Again, 20 degrees and rainy does actually qualify as winter in Queensland, doesn't it?
Certainly does. Particularly down in Brisbane, this is winter. This
definitely, and we're going to get change here for Rochelle with number 17 Reece Bregan coming on, replacing Caleb Ackland. So we're going to get a little bit of a formation change by the looks of things as well.
So it's something to keep an eye on, James. I mean, it would make sense as well if they do. They are a goal down now, Rochelle, so they have to push more numbers forward. Kate Ackland's had a great game, but maybe it's more of an attacking change.
Yes, definitely. So a 62nd minute change here for Rochedale Rovers. Got number 2 Caleb Ackland off, and number 17 Reece Bregan coming on. I have to say Ackland's been working hard as well, and maybe, you know, starting to tire a little bit with quite a lot of season still to play.
Also, this is a time of year where if you haven't had a lot of pre-season action, that legs might start to go. So we might see a few substitutions in the next couple of minutes as that starts to kick in for both sides.
Definitely, and that second half always going to be tough for a lot of these players. It looks like Southwest Queensland are going to have a short corner routine once again. Just at a guess at how Rochelle are going to try and line up after this corner. Is it Holds up in the win and claimed there by Tom Carroll. Obviously, you're going to have the pacey Bregan up front.
Looks like Ray McGowan, James, has dropped into a midfield role.
That sort of right wing back role, perhaps. But now that rain really is coming into
It
our
is,
spot.
isn't it?
Cross to the back post here. Offside was Declan Ridings. It's deemed to be play on. Flag goes down. Shot straight at Hudson there, but he's able to make the save.
Yeah, right direction, James, just not enough power there to get past Hudson there. But again, it's a good half opportunity that for Rochedale.
Yes.
As the rain and wind really does start to take hold here.
Oh, look, it's proper football weather, some might say.
Who said football's a summer sport in Australia?
Well, not the Football Queensland competitions. And a late challenge there by Callum Hart. It's let go. It's going to be a throw-in for the Thunder. But never matters because Rochelle happened to get the ball straight back. And now here's McGowan. Plays into the middle here for Ridings, a UK import. And a full-blooded challenge there as Bregan was deemed to be offside. And looks like that was just a collision of two guys going for the ball and not really wanting to see it any ground.
No, I don't think there's too much in that, James. I think they're both up now, so it should be play on. But again, it's just that final ball through for both sides. They hasn't quite found the range yet.
Not quite, no. I think we'll be seeing a few more of those attempted through balls there from Rochelle as they try and take advantage of the pace up front. You've got the creativity as well of Cheshire. And headed away there by Tobin. Ridings with a wild challenge there, but not enough for a foul. And you're starting to see a few challenges coming in, and we might have to have a bit of a talking to from the referee as well.
Possibly, again, all game though, that Southwest Queensland Thunder have been making some very strong challenges in that defensive third, so I think it's really been the blueprint for them is to win the battle in the first half and then play football in the second.
Yes, definitely.
It's working very well for them so far.
Yeah, just have to watch those challenges. Players might leave a tired leg in as we get into the final 25 plus minutes here in Toowoomba as the rain moves through. Good news, it's only I'd say still a light drizzle. Slide rule pass attempted there, but and then a strong challenge there from the substitute Bregan, and that's going to be the game's first yellow card.
Yeah, it deserves that yellow card. They're strong into the challenge there. It's a clear yellow card.
It's a little bit late, and looks like might have a little bit of an injury here to Brenton Pennells to deal with.
Another one of the Thunder defence had a terrific game, really putting his body on the line. Some great challenges as well. Been very good so far to start the season.
Yes, definitely. So, yellow card there for Reece Bregan, 67 minutes. Just now looking to cover up some of the electrical equipment up here. Better safe than sorry, I suppose. So it looks like it's we'll go as far as to say a leg problem there for Pennells, but given my lack of a medical degree or any sort of experience in the field, we'll just leave it at that.
Seems like a good prognosis, James, doesn't it? It might also be a touch of cramp as well he's down with.
Yeah, it was
certainly a lower leg injury.
Yeah,
of some kind.
It was a strong challenge there from Bregan as well. But yeah, with the sliding in as well, it was just a case of first to the ball and won the contest. Not seeing too much movement from the rest of the Rochedale bench at the moment, nor Southwest Queensland, so looks like we're just going to see a few running repairs before we get back into the match. I think this is one of those games though where the substitutes will be happy to go and warm up.
Yeah, that'll stay underneath the shading they've got down there on the substitutes bench. I think either of those would be a good option at the moment.
Definitely, and I'm assuming Pennells is going to have to leave the pitch, but it looks like he's going to be staying on. I would have always thought if the match had to be stopped, the player needed to leave the pitch, but maybe that's just me.
It could very well be you. I'll let you allowed to stay on the field if there was a card issue to the opposition player.
Could very well be the case.
I have been told I don't know the rules quite often though, so I wouldn't necessarily vouch for that.
Yeah, that's fair. Here's Cheshire down the left flank. Gets past Crociati, but that pass doesn't quite have the angle there for Bregan. Got Todd Norris watching, a big fan of Greg Cheshire. Got Jan watching from Tasmania. We've got Gerard watching as well, looking to check what club Callum Hart came from. He was signed from Willowburn FC, to answer your question, and very pleased that everyone's joining us on this, well, not so summery Sunday afternoon.
No, one of the 5 players that the Thunder have got in the starting lineup today from the Toowoomba Premier League.
Looks like we're going to see Benjamin Adams coming onto the pitch for Southwest Queensland before too long. I think he'll be ready to make his impact in the contest. His riding's looking to create something. Cheshire, he was onside by the looks of it. I thought Crociati might have been playing him on, but linesman had the better angle than me.
No, just swayed slightly offside there, James. Another good opportunity. It's just that they can get that run right. There's something there for Rochedale.
Definitely, and we've got the second substitute for Rochedale Rovers. The Southwest Queensland Thunder. You've got Benjamin Adams coming on. He'll be replacing, I believe that's Josue Kalenga.
Yeah, good shift from Josue Kalenga. So that was also, James, putting in a lot of good runs in up that front third for Southwest Queensland.
No reward for it, but no reward for him in terms of goals. But you have to say overall that Ivor Prasad will be pretty happy with how his striker began the season. Just over the head there of Hayden. Now Cheshire's with a chance to go and goes himself. Back post. Equalizer! Ray McGowan, what a run to the back post, and fantastic work from Gregory Cheshire to set that up. Levels the scores at 1-1. Game on here in Toowoomba.
Certainly game on now, James. Again, perhaps slightly switching off there the home side from that substitution, and Greg Cheshire found some space on that left-hand side, had 3 or 4 players you could have picked out. They went from McGowan at the back post, and it's a great finish there to level the scores here.
And a clever bit of dribbling as well to get past number 13, Brenton Pennells, to set up that cross. And shows he does have a left foot.
Absolutely, and again, Ray McGowan was putting a lot of effort in the front third in the first half, swapped back down into the sort of right wing-back role with the introduction of Bregan up front, and he's got his reward now.
Definitely, and it was a good run as well, and one that you'd have to think will be kept an eye on as the season goes along. Does actually continue though. Southwest Queensland, they kept just 1 clean sheet in NPL last season, and won't be a clean sheet to start the season up here either.
No clean sheets for either side here today, James.
Yes, but I had that Southwest Queensland Thunder stat on hand, so that was why I went with it. Well, I'm pretty
if
sure
you've got the stats, you've got to use them.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure Rochedale weren't kept scoreless in any game last season. So
well, there you go. There's another one.
Yeah.
Status quo remains.
Exactly. I'm sure you can hear the wind beginning to pick up in the microphones as well. How are you feeling in that t-shirt, Scott? Anyway, got Southwest Queensland here looking to retake the lead that they picked up early on in the first half.
Yeah, the shirt's fine, James. The glasses maybe not.
So you got Frank on the ball. As we mentioned a while ago, you can probably see the NPLW sides lining up in backcourt corners of the field. Low ball in from Frank. Header one there, but couldn't quite get the control on it to direct it towards the goal. Was Jordan Howard, the halftime substitute. Now Rochedale looking to break out here as Cuschieri plays it back to Tobin. And Ridings gives away possession. Here's Howard. Bit of interplay there as the substitute Ben Adams looking to take over striking role and put his fresh legs to good use. Now here's Cheshire. Flag stayed down so far. It looks like he might have been played onto the far side by Crociati. Cheshire showing why he's a striker there as he gets beaten there as Hayden gets past him, but Rochelle back on the ball. Looks like Cheshire might be getting just a little bit fatigued. Hands on knees there. Here's Cuschieri. His Ridings certainly gotten a lot more involved in the second half as well. Here's Bregan. Opens up for the shot. Palmed away. Well saved there by Jace Hudson. But the ball only goes to Ray McGowan in the right corner as he looks to send the ball back in, and it's going to go for a goal kick after it's declared to have gone out off McGowan. But good bit of work there as Rochelle trying to claim that second goal.
Yeah, just shifted the ball to his right there to create space for the shot, Reece Bregan. It was a great shot as well, and a really good save from Jace Hudson there to keep the scores level.
Definitely. He's not afraid to parry the ball away, is he?
No, well, if you can parry it away from the front of the goal, it's never a bad idea, James.
Definitely. While he did give possession back to McGowan there, it wasn't one of those saves that was in a clear scoring position. So I think they'll be pretty happy with how that worked. And there's Bregan, tangling of legs there between Bregan and Crociati, and 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Let's keep playing football.
Absolutely. I mean, it's always the goalkeeper's first priority to clear the ball from the face of the goal. So anywhere outside of, in front of the goal is normally a good place.
Exactly. That header doesn't really amount to much, so I think it took a double doink off Anthony Grant and Stenhouse, and all the way to Tom Carroll, who gets Rochedale's next attack started.
A double doink, that's awfully accurate there, James. Very technical term, is that it? Is that what it is?
Yep,
Okay.
exactly, and hello to anyone listening in Chicago. Now here's Hayden on the ball. All the way back to Hudson. He's looked pretty comfortable and the ball has gone to his feet so far as Hudson. Now here's Ridings, is able to get around Pennells with not too much trouble. Opens up for the cross into the middle, and that's cleared away. Still an attacking chance here for Rochedale. Got 15 and change minutes to go. I think we'll have a bit of stoppage time. Ball over there for Cuschieri, and McGowan, the goal scorer, are able to keep it in under the attention of Wade Hall. Here's Bregan. Centers it here for Swindles. Cuschieri on the ball again, looking to create an opening. Swindles loose touch there, and advantage play on here for Southwest Queensland as Adams can't quite keep the ball in, and it's going to be a throw-in. So clear instructions there from Marcus Sturgiopoulos, encouraging his defenders to make sure that they're picking up number 11, which is, of course, the substitute Ben Adams.
Yeah, both coaches at the edge of their technical area at the moment, James, barking out instructions as we enter the final 15 minutes of the game.
Well, they'd both be wanting to try and pick up all 3 points from this season opening game. In fact, I'm pretty sure even if it wasn't a season opening game, they'd want to pick up all 3 points. Cross in here towards the back post, but claimed there.
You play to win the games, James.
You play to win the game. Again, that sounds awfully familiar. Here's Bregan now. Tries to centre it there for Swindles, but passes just a little bit too far ahead of him. Tobin comes out of his defensive spot and is able to win the ball back and trip up there for Ridings. Quick free kick, but ball's still moving apparently.
Thunder have been really pushed back in the last 10-15 minutes, James, as well, so they might need to try and push further forward when they get possession, because they've been in their own half for a lot of the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Speaking of which, I'm pretty sure the wind has just changed directions. Crossing there from Stenhouse, free at the back post for the header. Bregan, that's a goal! 2-1 Rochedale. Reece Bregan, the substitute with the big impact off the bench, gives Rochedale a 2-1 lead here in Toowoomba, and it was a perfect free kick from Ryan Stenhouse.
It was a great set-piece routine, James, and you're right. He has a massive impact off the bench, Reece Bregan. He's got his goal, which he's deserved, and again, that's a spectacular finish on the half turn there, James. It could be, dare I say, a goal of the week contender.
Definitely. We'll have to see if any of the other contenders will do well, but it looked like a fantastic header back across, I believe, from Jason Tobin.
A very well worked set piece, wasn't it? It's always difficult with those straight free kicks to try and get the angle, but they did it well there, Rochedale.
Definitely. It looks like we're going to have a third and final change for Southwest Queensland coming up pretty soon as number 6 Jacob Bigby prepares to make his entrance into the game. You'd have to think that that midfielder going to bring a little bit of fresh legs and probably also might try and get Southwest Queensland pushing a little bit further forward.
They've been just a bit overrun in that midfield the last 10 minutes, which just coincided with the pressure that Rochedale have been putting on.
Definitely, and it's through a lot of the hard work there of number 12 Declan Ridings, that import from the UK as well. So shows what a good bit of overseas recruiting can bring you. And we do have that change coming through as well. We've got Jacob Bigby coming on as predicted for, just confirming, it looks like it's Callum Hart. Yes, that is Callum Hart who's made way.
Very good performance on debut, stepping up from the Toowoomba Premier League as well from Callum Hart.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, ink from my pen starting to run on the paper.
You're worried about my notes there. I think yours are about to fall in half.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to just shield them as best as I can. The things we do for football. Wherever you're watching us, glad to have you on the Football Queensland Facebook page, YouTube channel for this FQPL match of the round. His Ridings on the ball. No, can't quite get it under control there. Loose touch there from Hayden. So that's all 3 subs made there for Southwest Queensland. What you see is what you get.
I think Rochedale got 2 up their sleeves, don't they?
Yes. Yeah, their only change has been Bregan, who's, with a goal and a yellow card, certainly had a bit of an impact on this game.
Probably following the coach's instructions to the letter, James. Get out there and make an impact.
And a rough challenge there from Pinnells, and might have gotten the ball there, but it was certainly from behind.
When you make those challenges from behind, James, you're always taking a risk.
Exactly.
I think Greg Cheshire thinks he got caught, so.
And I think he definitely got caught. I don't think that's all that much in doubt. I think it was just a case of how much did he get caught, and even if he got the ball first. So it's going to be left-footed delivery here from Joseph Field. Hovs up for the back post again, looking to centre, similar to that goal, and attempted bicycle kick there from Kuskieri, but doesn't amount to much.
Just as spectacular as Reece Bregan, not quite as effective though, James.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit early to be running down the clock, still with another 7+ minutes to play here, and get Southwest Queensland the ball as they try and gain a few metres there on the throw-in. It's going to be a free kick there for some very, we'll call it friendly marking there. That quick free kick doesn't really amount to much as ball just goes straight to Tom Carroll. Not sure what Wade Hall was trying to do there. Just a bit of a slide, but it'll look dramatic at least. Then free at the back post. Here's Cheshire. Could he make it 3 with his right foot? He does. What a cross there from Ray McGowan. And all of a sudden, it's 3-1 to Rochedale.
Fantastic goal there on the counter-attack there for Rochedale. Puts them well ahead in this game now. And again, a really good counter-attack there. Ray McGowan was a goal and an assist. And now Greg Cheshire as well. He's on the score sheet. Definitely. It's really good stuff there from Rochedale Rovers on the counter-attack. And
it's a good reward for the effort that Greg Cheshire's put in all game. He's been probably their most dangerous threat all match. And finally able to get there to the ball and with a cool, calm and composed finish.
He's certainly been one of the standouts for the visitors to Hasney James. Had a really good impact with, I think, 1 assist for the first goal, the equaliser for Rochedale. Now he's got 1 for himself, so he's had a really good game.
Definitely. And all of a sudden now it's Rochedale reminding everyone that they were the grand final winners last year, and they're going to be a good side to contend with once again this year. Looks like we might be having another sub coming on for Rochelle. Number 6, Jackson Rossi's just made his way over to the bench and is tracksuiting. It's going to be a winning start for Marcus Sturgiopoulos. He's replaced Scott McNichol, who continues as the club's technical director at Rochdale. And Sturge made 240 appearances as a midfielder in the NSL. And I just have to say, is probably pretty happy with how his tenure is starting at Rochdale.
One of the very famous players from the old NSL days from the 90s and early 2000s, James. He's played for a number of clubs down in that competition as well. I think Morwell Falcons is one of them a couple of times, along with Sydney United and the Football Kings, James.
Oh, there we go.
From your favourite country.
So making his way off the pitch is going to be number 8, Riley Swindles. So helps wind down a little bit of clock for Rochedale as they're looking to get away with all 3 points from their 3 goals scored.
Like for like change there, James, where we're just trying to, as you mentioned, run the clock down and also tighten things up in midfield to secure the lead.
Definitely. It's been a fast finishing Rochedale as well. Last thing they did, last year is obviously last year. They did find their scoring touch towards the end of the season, didn't they?
I mean, certainly it's a completely different side though as well. They made a number of changes we talked about earlier, so this is a great start for the new Rochedale Rovers team looking to defend their championship.
Exactly. They've also got a new Italian signing they're waiting on as well. You've got Alessandro Granillo, transfer from Italy. 72 games in Serie D with his last appearance December 22, I beg your pardon. So,
plenty of Italian flavour all over the Football Queensland Premier League this year, James.
Exactly, and I won't make the obvious joke there. I'll just let that one slide.
So normally you do make those obvious jokes.
Yeah, well, I'll try and be a little bit restrained. Here's Hayden as to try and get Southwest Queensland back into it with the cross into the near post, and then well parried away there by Carroll as Anthony Grant was looking for his second of the game and what would have been made for a very, very interesting final 5 minutes.
Terrific reflexes in these conditions, James. It's not easy to make a save that point blank.
Definitely. It was just a little tap on as well. Bregan presents a short option. Tries to find him on the long option instead. Here's Bigby sends it long and Stenhouse first to it.
He's had a really good game at the back there. Ryan Stenhouse really shoring things up back there, allowing the Rochedale fullbacks to really bomb on.
Definitely, and has managed to act as that deep line playmaker as that header back across there from McGowan. Can't quite find who it was supposed to. And he's on defensive duty there, but he's obviously been the one that sparks a lot of their attacks. Hall there into the middle there for the substitute Adams. Sarugo on the ball now. We'll give Rochedale credit. They managed to limit the impact of Sarugo after he really came out of that halftime interval firing.
That first 15 minutes, it was all South West Queensland Thunder in the second half. But you're right, that substitution, Reece Brady coming on really did change the game. Gave them another attacking outlet to make those runs in behind. Push Ray McGowan, beg your pardon, onto the right-hand side, allowing him to be a more attacking option out there. It certainly helped change the game.
Definitely. All right, now South West Queensland, plenty of options in the box here for the right-footed delivery. Goes near post, looking for Grant, but nothing coming of it. And now you're going to have a foot race here with Kuskieri on the ball. Then you've got Rossi trying to make a run to the back post, but can't quite get on to the end of it. Now here's Jacob Bigby. You've got Grant there looking for... Well, he's had a lot of work to do, oftentimes up against a couple of centre-backs for Grant, but he's still able to get a goal for this afternoon, but maybe would have been hoping for a little bit more with a couple of those half chances.
Yeah, certainly had a couple of half chances, Anthony Grant. I think he's put a good shift in up front there. The battle between him and Ryan Stenhouse up there has been a really, really interesting one. I think Stenhouse has probably had the better of it, but Anthony Grant's goal, that was really good. And look, if they can get another one in a minute, they might be able to have a grandstand finish here, perhaps, James.
Perhaps.
As we get to stoppage time.
So we've got our final change coming on for Rochelle. You've got Matthew Melville, who looks like he'll be replacing the aforementioned McGowan. Cleared away there by Wade Hall, who's put in a hard shift as well, but well, it hasn't been an easy afternoon for him, going from Ackland to McGowan, and now he's got the substitute Melville.
No, despite conceding the 3 goals, James, the South West Queensland defence has been really impressive. We talked about throughout the game the pressure they put on the side in the defensive third, the strong challenges they've put in. It's certainly a good foundation to build upon there over the course of the season.
Definitely, you'd have to think that there is a lot to work on for both of these sides here. Obviously, with week 1, but Rochelle have to be happy with how they've managed to ride to the finish line. Of course, both of these sides back in action next week. Rochedale have a very short turnaround. Another away game. Rochedale are travelling to Wynnum Wolves, 7 p.m. Friday night. And then South West Queensland back at home to Holland Park Hawks, 3 p.m. Sunday. So looking forward to seeing what both of these sides give us next week. And you can watch all those games on the Football Queensland YouTube channel as well. Just another reminder, every game from every competition streamed live on Football Queensland YouTube. So whole lot of football coming your way this season in 2020. Got picked up there by Kuskieri with a long-range shot, but didn't quite get the purchase on that one that he would have been hoping for. A few darting glances to a match official as well, as Bigby with a strong challenge there, and Stenhouse wins the ball back, and that was a rough challenge there, and I think that's going to be a late booking for a challenge born purely out of frustration.
Certainly out of frustration, James. A very strong challenge there on Stenhouse there, and I think that's a clear yellow card. I don't have too many complaints about that one.
Definitely, and Jacob Bigby's only been on about 10 minutes. And Stenhouse just opting to play it for a bit of open space, and I think with the whistle in his mouth, it's probably going to be... Oh, it's gone now. So it looks like we're going to keep playing a little bit longer. It's almost like that line in Simpsons. Fullback passes to centre. Centre holds it. Cleared away, and it looks like it's going to be a very, very late corner for Southwest Queensland. And Jace Hudson just looking over to the bench, wondering if he's got the all clear to head up to contribute for that effort here, but looks like he'll just be acting as a sweeper. Frankie puts the ball in. Punched away there by Carroll. Pinnell's with the ball. Pumped away there, not too far though. Left-footed ball in. Just behind the far post from Ben Adams, and well, it's going to be all 3 points for Rochedale Rovers with a 3-1 win, courtesy of goals to Gregory Cheshire, Ray McGowan and Reece Bregan, after Southwest Queensland Thunder opened the scoring through Anthony Grant. And you have to say, overall, pretty good performance from Rochedale.
They had to work hard for it though, James. Southwest Queensland made life awfully difficult for them. Got the first goal, looked like they might be able to go on with it, but I think the quality in the end told for Rochedale Rovers there to get the 3-1 win to kick off their title defence in great fashion.
Definitely. So it's all 3 points for the defending grand final winners, Rochedale Rovers. I'm James Coughlin. He's been Scott Owen. Scott, thank you.
Thank you, James.
And well done on your debut as well.
Thank you.
And pleasure joining you for this afternoon's game from here in Toowoomba. This has been a double take production. We'll be back next week with a whole lot more football. See you then.